Grandfather, look at what you're saying. You love me the most. Can you still hand me over? Besides, the Luo family is asking for a beating. I'm just helping you vent your anger. Yun Chujio said with a cheeky smile. Mo Fankin's eyes twitched. A country bumpkin's skin was really thick. You make it sound so simple. If the Luo family comes to seek justice, what should I do? Mo Shouting was also amused by Yun Chujia's shamelessness. Grandfather, well, deal with whatever comes our way. In a while, you can just say whatever you want. Leave the rest to your granddaughter, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Mo Shouting thought about it and felt that this was a good idea. Fong Chao was just a little girl anyway. If it didn't work out, he could just make things right again. As they spoke, a guard came over to report, Master, the Luo family's master is here. Second master is already accompanying him to the living room. Mo Shouting originally thought that Yun Chujio was being ridiculous, but after hearing the guard's words, he was immediately enraged. Second brother was a traitor and a fool. Yet, when his father-in-law arrived, he immediately went to welcome him. Damn it! Yun Chujio caught a glimpse of Mo Xiaoting's expression and added fuel to the fire. Grandfather, my father is really hard-working today. Every time you call him to the study room, he doesn't come so quickly. Hearing this, Mo Xiaoting's expression darkened. Let's go to the living room. Okay. Grandfather, when the time comes, I promise I will help you anger that old bastard, Luo Pingsheng. Yun Chujio hopped behind Mo Shouting and gave Mo Fangqin a cocky look. Mo Fangqin glared at her and thought, Grandfather has temporarily passed this test, but the head of the Luo family isn't so easy to deal with. When the time comes, Grandfather might not be able to handle the pressure and even teach you a lesson. Why are you so cocky? At that moment, in the living room, the Luo family head, Luo Pingsheng, was maintaining his identity as he sat by the side with a solemn expression. He did not say a word. Luo Yen was hugging Luo Shi's snot and tears as she sobbed, Auntie, not only did that slut Mo Fangchao beat me, she even extorted 20 million upper-grade spirit stones. You have to make a decision for me. When Luo Shi saw that her niece's face was swollen like a pig's head and her body was covered in blood stains, she was so angry that she gritted her teeth. However, she had deep thoughts, so even if she wished to cut Yun Chujio into 1,000 pieces, she still pretended to say, Yen is there a misunderstanding? Why would Fang Chao beat you up for no reason? Mo Cheng, who was beside her, said furiously, HMPH. Xiao Yun, there's no need for you to ask. That rebellious daughter has always been arrogant and domineering. If she could even break her own brother's leg, what else could she not do? This time, father will not protect her. We have to teach her a lesson. Luo Shi felt proud in her heart, but she put on a troubled expression as she said, Husband, Fang Chao may have gone overboard, but she is still young and ignorant. Please don't punish her too harshly. Humph. She's already 17 years old, yet she's still young and ignorant. Xiao Yun, you don't have to persuade her anymore. No matter what, you have to give father-in-law and Yen an explanation. Mo Cheng said through gritted teeth. When Mo Shouting entered, he heard Mo Cheng's words. He wished he could send Mo Cheng flying with a kick. This stupid traitor. On the other hand, Yun Chujia's eyes darkened. What was the use of having a father like this? She couldn't help but laugh at herself. Luckily, she wasn't a stupid and filial person. Otherwise, she would have been cheated to death by this scumbag. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Mo Cheng watched as Mo Shouting brought Yun Chujio and Mo Fangqin in. His face immediately turned red as he said, Father, this unfilial daughter actually beat Yen up so badly on the street and even extorted 20 million high-grade spirit stones. This is too much. We have to give the Luo family and Yen a heavy punishment. Mo shouting looked at him coldly but did not say a word. Instead, he nodded at Luo Pingsheng. The Luo family's head has graced us with his presence. Sorry for not welcoming you. Logically speaking, as a guest, Luo Pingsheng should have stood up when Mo shouting walked in. However, he did not move and simply cupped his hands. Mo family's head, you are too kind. Mo Xiaoting's anger grew. Before the Luo family had made a name for themselves, Luo Pingsheng had always bowed to him every time he saw him. Who would have thought that he would be so arrogant now? How despicable. Luo Yan looked at Yun Chuzhou standing behind Mo shouting and gritted her teeth in anger. If it wasn't for Luo Shi secretly comforting her, she probably would have strangled Yun Chuzhou to death. After Mo shouting sat in the main seat, Yun Chuzhou eagerly pulled out a small stool and sat down beside Mo shouting. What a joke! What if Luo Yan or the head of the Luo family flipped out? Not only would Mo Cheng and Luo Shi not help, they might even help the bad guys. So, Mo Xiaoting's side was the safest. Mo Fankin's eyes twitched as she quietly found a corner to sit down. This was a place where she could watch a show without getting involved. She felt like she had learned a little bit of the essence of being a country bumpkin. Mo shouting looked at Yun Chuzhou, who was wearing her own vest. His face froze, but he did not say anything. On the other hand, Mo Cheng flew into a rage. Unfilial daughter. Don't you have any rules? There are so many chairs, aren't you allowed to sit on them? What's the point of sitting there? Yun Chuzhou shivered. When I was on the street, Luo Yan hit me like she was crazy, so I decided to stay by my grandfather's side. I'm timid and scared. Everyone was dumbfounded. Couldn't you be a little more shameless? Were you scared? Luo Yan had been beaten into a pig's head. If she was scared, she should be scared. Luo Yan gritted her teeth in anger. After bowing to Mo shouting, she said, Grandfather Mo, this Mo Fengchao beat me up and even extorted 20 million high-grade spirit stones from me. Please help Yan Mo shouting did not say a word. Yun Chuzhou sat on the stool and pouted. Luo Yan, can you not be so thick-skinned? This is my grandfather, what do you call him? How can you be so thick-skinned? I've seen people picking up money, but I've never seen people picking up grandfather. Mo Xiaoting's eyes twitched. Fengchao, aren't you being a little unreasonable? Just as Luo Yan was about to fly into a rage, Luo Shi quickly said, Fengchao, this is your fault. The Luo and Mo families are in-laws, so it's not wrong for Yan to address father as grandfather. Second aunt, my grandfather, the Yi family, is the Mo family's in-laws. Since when did a concubine's family become in-laws? People should know their own limits. Don't be arrogant just because you're pleased with yourself. Be careful not to climb higher and fall harder. Yun Chuzhou's face was all smiles. The words that came out of her mouth were like a knife cutting through blood. Regardless of whether it was the Luo family head or Luo Shi, their faces were burning with anger. They wished they could find a hole to burrow into. Unfilial daughter. What nonsense are you spouting? Although Qiao Yun used to be a concubine, she has now been promoted. The Luo family is naturally the in-laws of our Mo family. Mo Cheng roared angrily out of embarrassment. Once a concubine, always a concubine. Although second aunt had been promoted, it didn't change the fact that she was a concubine. So, some people shouldn't simply call themselves relatives. If you're not ashamed, I'm ashamed for you. The Mo family doesn't have such a shameless relative. Yun Chuzhou was leaning against a big tree to enjoy the shade, so she could say whatever she wanted to vent her anger. Mo shouting looked at Master Luo's face, which had turned green with anger, and felt very comfortable. Fengchao was right. How could a concubine's father put on airs with him? He really overestimated himself. Master Mo, it doesn't matter if you are related or not. Mo Fengchao beat Yan up for no reason. What do you say? Master Luo asked coldly. Mo Xiaoting pretended to be surprised. Fang Chao, is that true? Did you really do it? Yun Chujiu cursed in her heart. The old fox's acting skills were really good. If people didn't know, they would think that he didn't know. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and said with a wronged expression, "Grandfather, I originally wanted you to bring me to the Luo residence to seek justice. But, I felt that if it wasn't a big deal, I shouldn't have bothered you. In fact, it would have affected the relationship between the two families. I didn't expect that Luo Yan would actually be so thick-skinned." As the main culprit, the unreasonable side actually licked their faces and came to denounce me. It's really amazing. You bitch. You're spouting nonsense. You were clearly the one who hit me and even extorted 20 million spirit stones from me. Luo Yan was so angry that she was trembling. "Io. Did everyone hear that? She called me a bitch." Previously, on the street, not only did she call me a bitch, she also called me a country bumpkin. She even said that she wanted to send all my clothes to the furnace, cauldron, and dojo. Plus, she was the one who started the fight. I fought back to protect myself. If you don't believe me, you can go ask on the street. If I'm lying, he'll be struck by lightning. Yun Chujiu said angrily. Family head Luo, you heard it too. This incident was caused by Miss Yen. So, there's no need to talk about who's right and who's wrong, right? Mo Xiaoting felt that although his son was an idiot, Fang Chao was still 100 times stronger than Luo Yan. With just a few words, he had grasped all the logic behind the situation. On the other hand, Luo Yan only knew how to throw a tantrum. The head of the Luo family glared at Luo Yan, then, he said, "Head Mo, even if Mo Fang Chao is telling the truth, she shouldn't have done this, right? Not to mention, she even extorted 20 million high-grade spirit stones from the Luo family. I only have 2 requests. First, I want Mo Fangchao to apologize to Yan Er. Second, I want the 20 million spirit stones back." In reality, family head Luo originally wanted to extort money from the Mo family, but he didn't expect Luo Yan to be so useless and give Yun Chujiu something to use against her. That was why he made these 2 requests. Mo Xiaoting looked at Luo Yan, who had been beaten up like a pig's head. He didn't think the Luo family's request was too much, so he lowered his head and looked at Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu had always been a wild goose that plucked feathers. How could she spit out the money she received? "Patriarch Luo, the 2 requests you made are unreasonable. First, Luo Yan deserved to be beaten up. Did I ask her to scold me, or did I ask her to beat me up? If you don't have the ability, then don't ask for a fight. To complain after getting beaten up, you're really shameless. Second, I wasn't the one who extorted the 20 million spirit stones. It was Luo Yan who paid me for the mental damage. It was originally 30 million, but I'm giving her a friendship price. If you're serious, then give me the remaining 10 million. Otherwise, our Mo family won't accept it." This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Everyone was stunned. No matter how they looked at it, the Luo family owed the Mo family 10 million. This Mo Fangchao had a glib tongue, inverting black and white. Master Luo's face was ashen. "Master Mo, I'm not going to argue with a little girl like her. Tell me, how should we settle this matter?" Mo Xiaoting knew that if he could settle this matter peacefully, he could just return 20 million spirit stones to the Luo family. As for whether he should apologize or not, the Luo family probably wouldn't bother too much about it. But, was he going to return the money or not? "Grandfather, although the Mo family doesn't lack spiritual stones, this is not a matter of spiritual stones. This is a matter of dignity. I am the Mo family's legitimate daughter. Why should I be scolded by the niece of a concubine? If I return the spiritual stones, people will think that the Mo family is afraid of the Luo family. So, I will not return the spiritual stones. Yun Chujio said righteously. Want money? No way. After hearing Yun Chujio's words, Mo Xiaoting thought back to how he had been tricked by the Luo family. He said coldly, "Family head Luo, I think Feng Chao's words make sense. Feng Chao is the Mo family's daughter, so it's reasonable for her to ask for some spirit stones as compensation for being insulted by Luo Yan. Please leave." Family head Luo's face turned ashen. Family head Mo, is this your final decision? You should leave some leeway, otherwise, don't blame others for being heartless. Mo Xiaoting's face darkened. Patriarch Luo, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't hide it. Patriarch Mo, as you know, the Zhao family has already cut off the Mo family's supply of talismans. Originally, on account of our relationship, I planned to give you some of the talismans that came in. Since you are so heartless, then let's drop this matter. Patriarch Luo sneered. He was certain that Mo Xiaoting would give in to his threats. Hearing the Luo family head's words, Mo Xiaoting's heart wavered. After all, the talisman business was simply too profitable. Mo Qing glared at Yun Chujio and said, "Father, hurry up and agree. The talismans are the most profitable. Apart from my father-in-law, who else can help us?" Yun Chujio pursed her lips. She said to Mo Xiaoting, "Grandfather, Patriarch Luo is obviously lying to us. Think about it, his talismans came from the Zhao family. If he were to secretly sell them to us, would the Zhao family agree? So, when the time comes, he will use this as an excuse not to sell us the talismans. He is treating you like a fool. I'm so angry." Mo Xiaoting slapped the table. "Luo Pingsheng, you are going too far. Feng Chao is right. When the time comes, you will definitely find a reason to break your promise and not provide us with the talismans. Luo Pingsheng, I saw everything you did. I just didn't want to expose you. Someone, send the guest out." Mo Cheng was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. "Father, what are you talking about? Father-in-law is doing this for the Mo family's good. Don't listen to that unfilial daughter's nonsense. It's not like you don't know her, you evil creature. Shut up. If you continue to spout nonsense, I won't have a stupid son like you." Mo Xiaoting picked up the teacup on the table and threw it at Mo Cheng. Mo Cheng dodged and the teacup fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Mo Cheng saw Mo Xiaoting's anger and did not dare to say anything more. He looked at the Luo family head in an obsequious manner. "Father-in-law, don't be angry." "My father, humph. The Mo family head has such a bad temper. I hope your Mo family doesn't beg for the Luo family's blessing. Yen let's go." The Luo family head stood up and sneered. "Family head Luo, this old man will also give you these words. Don't forget your roots, or you will suffer retribution," Mo Xiaoting replied coldly. Since he had already said these words, there was no need for him to continue. The Luo family head left with Luo Yan in a huff. Luo sure hated Mo Xiaoting and Yun Chujio in her heart, but she did not dare to show it on her face. She looked as if she had been wronged. Mo Cheng's eyes turned red as he yelled at Yun Chujio, "You troublemaker. Ever since you came back, the Mo family has never had peace. I really shouldn't have brought you back. Father, your words have really hurt my heart. In doing this for the Mo family's good. The last time, the Luo family had cheated uncle and third uncle. They also urged you to sell your daughter and tarnished your and the Mo family's reputation. Why are you still speaking up for the Luo family? If you ask me, this second aunt by your side is a vixen. Whenever she's free, she will give you a bewitching potion. Then, she will go behind your back and take all the good stuff and guests from the Mo family to the Luo family. Yet, you still treat her like a treasure. TSK, I really feel bad for you." Yun Chujio wanted to know what Mo Cheng's unfinished sentence was. So, she wanted to anger Mo Cheng so that he would lose his mind and say it out loud. As expected, Mo Cheng was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Just as he was about to say something, Mo Shouting sneered, "Enough. Second brother, you can go back now. I still have something to say to Fong Chao." Mo Cheng did not dare to disobey Mo Xiaoting's orders. He could only glare at Yun Chuzhou coldly before he left the living room with Luo Shi. Mo Shouting was about to scold Yun Chuzhou when he saw Yun Chuzhou stand up from the small bench. "Grandfather, I know you are angry, but I have a reason for doing this. It's not too late to scold me after you hear what I have to say. Speak." Second aunt is definitely a disaster. She shed 2 tears in front of my father and he lost his mind. He then became loyal to the Luo family. To be honest, you're still alive. If you weren't here, my father's fortune would have been given to the Luo family by second aunt. It would be fine if Fanghua got married, but what about brother Junchen? Is he going to drink the wind of the northwest? That's why we have to punish this second aunt. Yun Chuzhou said bitterly. What do you think? Mo Shouting had long been unhappy with Luo Shi. This woman was too scheming, yet second brother was a soft-headed idiot. Sooner or later, things would go wrong. If it wasn't for the sake of Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchen's marriage, Mo Shouting would have already made his move. Grandfather, the more you talk about my father, the more he won't listen to you. We need to find another way. I have an idea, what do you think? Yun Chuzhou said. Mo Xiaoting's expression turned stiff as he listened. This method was too despicable. However, he had to admit that although this method was a little despicable, the effect was immediate. Grandfather, when you achieve great things, you don't care about the small details. Although this method is a little too much, for my father, for the emperor, the subjects, and the younger brother, this is what we must do. Okay, let's do as you say. I will give you He Shi's original 5 subordinates. You can arrange for them to do it. Mo Shouting now saw the Luo family as a thorn in his side. He felt that if the Luo family had not instigated this, the Mo family and the Zhao family would not have fallen out. This was all caused by the Luo family. Mo Fangqin, who was sitting in a corner, had always been an invisible person. At this moment, she had lit a candle in her heart for Luo Shi. Luo Shi, who she thought was an insurmountable mountain, was now Yun Chuzhou. TSK, it was simply not enough. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Have you thought of a way to earn money from the grocery store? Mo Shouting asked. Grandfather, just you wait and see. When the time comes, the grocery store will definitely earn a lot of money. By the way, Grandfather, Luo Yan probably hates me to death right now. If she provokes me again, do you think you'll beat her up or her up? Mo Shouting was amused. Whether you beat her up or not is up to you. But, if you get beaten up by her, I will not bring you to the Luo family to seek justice. Grandfather, I am relieved to hear that. If she dares to provoke me again, I will just extort some more spiritual stones from her to give to you and grandmother, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Mo Xiaoting's lips twitched. What a nice thing to say. If you had the filial piety to take out half of the 20 million spiritual stones you extorted. Mo Shouting did not ask Yun Chuzhou for the 20 million spirit stones. Firstly, it was Yun Chuzhou who extorted the money herself, so he was too embarrassed to ask for it. Secondly, Yun Chuzhou was now a cash cow. 20 million spirit stones would be her reward. The next day, Mo Cheng was given a mission by Mo Shouting to go out on a shopping trip. Mo Cheng was quite happy. Because shopping was a lucrative job, there was bound to be money to be made. So, he left happily. When Luo Shi saw Mo Cheng leave, she returned to Jinchuan City. With the ox head and horse's face gone, Yun Chuzhou's days were much more comfortable. Now that she was a candidate for the position of family head, the servants naturally did not dare to neglect her. Although Mo Fanghuang and company disliked her, they did not dare to take the initiative to provoke her due to her recent fierce reputation. Yun Chuzhou was originally worried that Luo Yan would lead people to seek revenge. She did not expect that there would be no abnormalities even after going out a few times. It was likely that Luo Yan was recuperating from the injuries on her face at home. These days, due to the Luo family's deliberate suppression, the business of Mo's grocery store was getting worse by the day. It could be described as a deserted shop. Mo Peng, Mo Chang, and the others sneered in their hearts. Mo Fangchao was definitely going to lose this bet. The grocery store was half dead and half dead. Not to mention the profits of Jiu Jian's store, it could not even be compared to a single store. How could such a piece of trash be a candidate for the position of family head? Don't joke around. On this day, shopkeeper Pei sent someone to deliver a letter to Yun Chuzhou. He had returned with the goods. Yun Chuzhou brought Mo Fangqin and He Shi out of the Mo residence and arrived at the grocery store. Before they arrived at the grocery store, they saw many people gathered around to watch the show. Yun Chuzhou couldn't help but wonder, what happened? Shopkeeper Pi, if you want me to say it, your Mo's grocery store should just close up. I've heard that the Zhao family has cut off your talisman supply. If your grocery store doesn't have any talismans, what's the point of opening it? Shan Yanghu said sarcastically. Zheng, don't gloat over there. Well, see about that. Shopkeeper Pei said angrily. To be honest, he didn't know whether this Miss Fangchao was reliable or not. Could these groceries really make money? Shan Yanghu, who was also shopkeeper Zheng of Luo's grocery store, curled his lips. TSK, if you ask me, the Mo family's biggest mistake was letting you be the shopkeeper of the grocery store. What kind of person did they use? They actually used a person with the surname of Pei as the shopkeeper. It would be weird if they didn't close the store. Shopkeeper Pei was so angry that he stomped his feet, but he didn't know how to refute. Then, he heard a clear voice say, "What does it matter to you what kind of person our Mo family uses to be the shopkeeper? Shopkeeper Pei is a conscientious and responsible person, why can't we use him? Do you think that your surname is Zheng and your grocery store's business will be good? Let me tell you, sooner or later, your Luoji grocery store will close down." Shopkeeper Pei looked up and saw that it was Yun Chuzhou who had spoken. His nose turned sour and his eyes turned red. Yun Chuzhou could not help but curse in her heart. This fat old man loved to shed tears too much. Shopkeeper Zheng's face turned red from Yun Chuzhou's rebuke. Miss Fangchao, anyone can say such big words. However, this is the truth. Our Luo's grocery store is flourishing, while your Mo's grocery store, TSK, is completely deserted. Humph. You're really short-sighted. Our Moji grocery store is currently planning a reward activity. Right now, all the employees in the store are preparing for the reward activity, so we can't really take care of this business. Open your snobbish eyes and see which of our two families will have the last laugh. After Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, she brought shopkeeper Pei into the grocery store. Shopkeeper Zheng spat, "Bah. You're really boasting. You can make money by relying on groceries. That's hilarious. If the groceries can make money, the sun will rise from the north." Seeing that there was no more fun to watch, the people who were watching dispersed. However, they were very curious about what kind of activities Yun Chuzhou was talking about. What kind of activities did this Mo's grocery store have? Miss Fangchao, I bought the groceries and chili noodles according to your instructions. Do you want to count them? Shopkeeper Pei calmed himself down and said. There's no need to do an inventory. Give me a few sacks of chili noodles and I'll keep them for a rainy day. As for the spirit stones, you can deduct them from the money I gave you. Shopkeeper Pei could not help but look at Yun Chuzhou in a new light. He thought that Yun Chujio would take the chili noodles for free. It was not that the chili noodles were worth much, but that this kind of example made shopkeeper Pei have more confidence in Yun Chujio. Miss Fangcao, what do we need to do next? What kind of activities do you want to hold? Is it a price reduction or a gift? Shopkeeper Pei asked in confusion. In the immortal Yuan continent, most of the activities were to reduce the price or give away some worthless trinkets. Yun Chujio shook her head. Those activities are too common. Our Mo's grocery store is going to hold an event that will shake the entire Western continent. Big sister, don't keep us guessing. What kind of activity is it? Mo Fangqin was about to go crazy from anxiety. After talking for a long time, what kind of reward activity was it? Yun Chujio smiled and spat out 2 words. A lottery. A lottery? Mo Fangqin and the others were dumbfounded and confused. They had never heard of this term. What did it mean? Yun Chujio slapped her thigh. The term lucky draw was unfamiliar to them, so she explained, it's just drawing lots. It's a stroke of good luck. Come, let me explain the rules of the lucky draw to you. After listening to Yun Chujio's explanation, everyone still felt that this matter was a little unreliable. Big sister, what you said is exaggerated, but would anyone come to buy things for an uncertain prize? Third sister, greed is human nature. Don't worry, this reward activity will definitely be popular throughout the entire Western continent. However, this thing is just a layer of window paper. If we make it first, we will earn a lot of money. Those who follow the trend will not have such a good effect. Yun Chujio said confidently. Elder sister, if it is really as popular as you said, then the things in the grocery store are not enough to sell. When the time comes, will we go to buy more? Yun Chujio smiled mysteriously. These things are enough. I still have a good way to get the white wolf for free. Empty-handed? Everyone was even more confused. Could this fellow be trying to cheat people? But when Yun Chujio revealed her thoughts, everyone was stunned. Shopkeeper Pei was so excited that tears streamed down his face. Miss Fang Chao, you're really a business genius. Our grocery store is saved. Yun Chujio smiled smugly. This is just a small matter. Come, let's divide the work. In 5 days, the lottery draw will officially begin. 3 days later, the people of Fengli City and the nearby cities received a MOJIS Lucky Draw flyer. The gist of the flyer was, as long as you buy all the goods in MOJIS grocery store for 1,000 high-grade spirit stones, you will get 1 lucky draw opportunity. The number of lucky draws can be accumulated, buy more and you will get more. 1 special prize, 100,000 high-grade spirit stones, 5 first-class prizes, 10,000 high-grade spirit stones. Second prize, 10 second prize, 5,000 upper-grade spirit stones. Third prize, 50 third prize, 1,000 upper-grade spirit stones. Fourth prize, 200 fourth prize, 300 upper-grade spirit stones. Fifth prize, 500 fifth prize, 50 upper-grade spirit stones. Last prize, 1,000 last prize, 5 upper-grade spirit stones. For a moment, many people in the streets and alleys were talking about this Moji grocery store is quite novel in the lottery. I've never heard of such a rewarding activity. What it says is quite tempting. What first prize, second prize, but can they win the lottery? It can't be a lie, right? Won't we know when we see it? Besides, even if they win the last prize, they'll get 5 high-grade spirit stones for nothing. That makes sense. But, isn't MOJIS grocery store stupid? If they do this, won't they lose money? Who cares? If we win the lottery, if they don't cash in, they'll destroy his shop. Mo Shouting naturally heard about the huge commotion and quickly sent someone to call Yun Chujio into the study room. When Yun Chujio entered, Mo Xiaoting's expression was dark. By the time Yun Chujio came out, Mo Shouting was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. He was proud that leaving the herb behind was the best decision he had ever made. This little girl was a once-in-lifetime business genius. Mo Peng, Mo Chang and the others were gloating over Yun Chujio's misfortune. They felt that Yun Chujio was throwing stones at their own feet. This bullshit raffle was simply a scam. If they didn't sell the goods, they would end up losing a lot of spirit stones. What a fool. The Luo family members also watched coldly from the side. They felt that this raffle was simply nonsense. As a result, the Mo's grocery store would soon close down. 2 days later, the front of the Mo's grocery store was filled with people who were watching the show. However, there were very few people who really went in to buy things, and most of them were on the fence. In the middle of Moji's grocery store was a huge box that was guarded by a special person. After the customer had finished buying things and paid the money, the accountant would give him a ticket for the lucky draw according to the amount of money he had bought. The customer would then take the ticket and come over to the lucky draw. The people who were watching the show craned their necks to see if anyone could win the prize. 10 customers did not win anything in a row. The people who were watching the show immediately felt that this lucky draw was most likely a scam. Some people decided to disperse. At this time, a hawk-nosed man holding a wooden tablet in his hand shouted in surprise, "Third-class prize. I won the third-class prize." Shopkeeper Pei smiled like a god of fortune, beaming as he handed over 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. "Congratulations. Congratulations. This customer is really lucky." Hawk-Nosed was so excited that he was incoherent. Really give it to me? 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. Shopkeeper Pei said with a smile, "Our shop is honest. You won the lottery, so of course, this spirit stone is really for you." Hawk-Nosed laughed excitedly. "I spent a total of 1,100 spirit stones to buy these things. Now, isn't it equivalent to only spending 100 spirit stones? It's really worth it." When the onlookers saw that some people had really won the lottery, some people were tempted. However, most of them still remained on the sidelines. The following customers also occasionally won the lottery, but most of them were 5th class or last class winners. Some people began to question, could it be that there was no big prize at all? At this moment, a fatty shouted excitedly, "Oh my God! I won the first-class prize." Everyone's gaze was focused on the fatty. First prize. That was 10,000 high-grade spirit stones. Was that even possible? Shopkeeper Pei still had a smile on his face, but in everyone's eyes, he seemed to be forcing a smile. Everyone couldn't help but gloat over his misfortune. He hadn't sold much of this item, and now he was going to lose 10,000 spirit stones. This Mo's grocery store was going to pay a huge sum of money. Shopkeeper Pei took the wooden tablet and examined it. He gritted his teeth and said, "Congratulations, sir. You have indeed won the first prize. This is 10,000 high-grade spirit stones. Please keep it well and welcome your next visit." The fatty was so excited that his face flushed red. I didn't expect to make a small fortune from buying this item. I want to buy some more things. Maybe I can even win the special prize." After saying this, the fat man couldn't wait to go shopping again. This time, the onlookers couldn't hold back anymore. The owner of Mo's grocery store was so stupid and rich. What were they waiting for? Hurry up and buy. Otherwise, the special prize and the first prize would be gone. The crowd was about to squeeze into the store. Shopkeeper Pei wiped the sweat off his forehead and shouted, "Everyone! Everyone! Our store is small. Don't crowd around. Line up and enter the store in order." The crowd was about to go crazy, so they weren't willing to listen to his advice. Fortunately, Yun Chujio was prepared for this. She borrowed a team of guards from Mo Shouting and managed to control the situation, allowing the shop to become orderly. Not only that, she also asked Mo shouting to transfer a few waiters and a few bookkeepers from other shops. So, even though there were more and more customers, the shop was still in good order. As the number of people winning the lottery increased, the customers went crazy. Right now, they weren't thinking about what they were buying. All they wanted was a lucky draw card. What are you buying? Don't ask. Just give me whatever you want. I just need 5,000 spirit stones. Yes, yes, don't dawdle. Give me 10,000 spirit stones for that rice bowl. How troublesome. Give me 20,000 spirit stones for those chopsticks. Hurry up, or else the grand prize will be taken away by others. Shopkeeper Pei wiped his sweat as he thought to himself, have these people gone mad? Chopsticks worth 20,000 spirit stones. Are you trying to use chopsticks to start a fire? Looking at the bustling scene in Mojis grocery store, the Luo family, Mo Peng, and the others were dumbfounded. At first, they thought that the lottery was like throwing a stone at their own feet, but now, they realized that even if all the prizes were taken away, Mojis grocery store would still make a profit in the end. In fact, it was a huge profit. Although Mo Shouting did not go to the grocery store to take a look, from afar, he could see that the entire street was lined up with people waiting to enter the store to buy something. He couldn't help but feel elated. Feng Chao was a brilliant idea. The grand occasion lasted for 3 whole days. Not only the people of Fengli City, but also the people from the surrounding cities also flocked to the shop. For a time, Fengli City was full of people. Shopkeeper Pei looked at the daily income and smiled happily. On the other hand, he felt that at this rate, the stock in the shop would soon be sold out. Then what should he do? Or should he organize people to stock up now? Miss Feng Chao, our stock can only be sold for another 3 days at most. Should I arrange people to stock up now? Shopkeeper Pei looked for Yun Chujio and asked anxiously. Yun Chujio shook her head with a smile. It's too late to overdo it. Soon, these people will wake up and regret buying so many useless things. Even if we stock up, we might not be able to sell them. Then let's just let go of this great opportunity to make money. Shopkeeper Pei said unwillingly. Although he had been busy for the past 3 days, it was too exciting to watch the huge amount of spiritual stones coming in every day. Of course we won't let go. I have a way to make more money. How much paper do we have left? Yun Chujio asked with a smile. About $1,000 for the paper, and quite a lot of raw paper and rice paper. The more Shopkeeper Pei looked at her, the more he felt that Yun Chujio's smile was like a little fox. It was the kind of red-furred little fox. $1,000, that's 100,000 pieces. It should be able to last for a while. But it's still far from enough. Send someone to secretly purchase another $50,000. Shopkeeper Pei asked in puzzlement, what do you need so many thick paper for? To make money. To make a lot of money. To make a lot of money empty-handed. Yun Chujio's eyes were sparkling, as if she could already see a large number of spirit stones waving at her. Shopkeeper Pei was even more confused. Using paper to make money, and also to make a lot of money? How was this possible? Miss Feng Chao must have really gone crazy this time. Another 3 days passed. The goods in Moji's grocery store were almost sold out. There were still many people waiting outside the store. When they heard that the store was out of stock, they were all red-faced and displeased. They came all the way here for the lottery. Now, you're telling me that there's nothing left to sell. Aren't you just looking for trouble? Some people began to jeer, threatening to smash Mo's grocery store. Shopkeeper Pei was running around anxiously. It's over. It's over. I told you I was going to stock up, but Miss Feng Chao just brought back a pile of thick paper. How are we going to end this? Right at this moment, shopkeeper Zheng of Luo's grocery store shouted, "Everyone, our Luo's grocery store has also launched the same lucky draw. Our prize money is even higher than Mo's. First come, first served, hurry up and buy it." Some people were tempted. It was the same lucky draw anyway. Who cared if it was Mo's or Luo's? Thus, some people turned around and entered Luo's grocery store. Shopkeeper Pei was so anxious that he was about to hit the wall. Wasn't this pushing the money out? Mo Pang and Mo Chang were also in the crowd. Seeing this, they couldn't help but gloat. This grass was still young and inexperienced. She actually did not arrange for anyone to replenish the stock and wasted such a good opportunity to earn money. Otherwise, she might have won the bet. It was really close. Shopkeeper Zheng of Luo's grocery store was very pleased when he saw that the number of customers had started to increase. A little girl was just a little girl. When she thought about things, she was just not thorough enough. She had helped Luo's store a great deal for nothing. Ha! Just as shopkeeper Zheng was feeling pleased with himself, he saw Yun Chuzhou jump onto the roof of Mo's grocery store. He could not help but be stunned. Could it be that this Mo Fong grass had been stimulated to the point of madness? The people in line were also stunned. They all looked up at Yun Chuzhou who was on the roof. Yun Chuzhou cupped her hands at everyone. She said in a clear voice, "Everyone, are you all wondering why our Moji grocery store didn't restock? Does anyone still think that our Moji grocery store is stupid? Why didn't we restock when we were making so much money?" Yun Chujia's words immediately attracted everyone's attention. That's right, since they knew, why didn't they restock? Yun Chuzhou swept her gaze across everyone, then, she sighed. "Everyone, to be honest, my biggest advantage and biggest weakness is that I'm too soft-hearted. Although our Moji grocery store earns a lot of money every day, seeing that you guys bought so many things that you don't need at all, I feel extremely tormented in my heart. There was an uncle who bought chopsticks that cost tens of thousands of spirit stones. How long would he need to use them for? Therefore, I suggested to my grandfather that even if he earns more money, he can't continue this lucky draw. If he does that, he will scam a lot of people." Everyone was stunned at first, then they began to discuss animatedly. "Io, after hearing what this little girl said, it really makes sense. You said that we bought so many useless things, then we would have to throw them away for nothing. That's right, we bought a bunch of them, and spent a lot of spirit stones. But in the end, we only won a few last prize. It's really not worth it. This Mo family still has a conscience. They correct when they find a problem. That Luo Ji is too disgusting. They are simply taking advantage of the situation. That's right, if it wasn't for the little girl who broke through this layer of window paper, we would have been fooled again. Look at that manager of Luo Ji, Shan Yanghu. One look and you can tell that he's not a good person." Shopkeeper Zheng's heart was like a muttering dog. This darn girl is really too mean. It's fine if you don't earn money, but you actually don't want us to earn money. With her words, who else can come to the lucky draw in the future? Moreover, she has even tarnished the reputation of our Luo family. It's really too detestable. Shopkeeper Pei saw that shopkeeper Zheng was so angry that his face was red and his neck was thick. He was very happy in his heart. He deserved it. It would be better if he angered you to death. However, shopkeeper Pei soon began to worry. Miss Fang Keo's clamor had indeed cheated the Luo family. However, their money-making business had also been blocked. The money they earned these few days was at most more than the two shops. Weren't they still going to lose this bet? At this moment, someone in the crowd said, "Miss Fang Chao, although your heart is good, we just want to play an exciting game to block our luck. It's really a pity that your lucky draw event isn't going to be held." "Yes, Miss Fang Chao, if only we could have a lucky draw without buying anything." "Forget it, Miss Fang Keo's brain is not broken. If you don't buy anything, what right does she have to give you a reward? Yun Chujio was very satisfied with the performance of these children. This rhythm was pretty good. This fellow smiled and said, "Everyone, to be honest, I have also considered this point. Therefore, our Moji grocery store will be launching a lucky 7-star card lucky draw from today onwards. The prize money is very generous. Everyone doesn't need to buy groceries. They only need to pay 10 spirit stones to get a chance to win a super big prize. Don't miss it. Our guards will send you a flyer. Take a look first, and then he'll explain the specific rules to you." Yun Chujio waved her hand, and He Shi led the guards to send the flyer that Yun Chujio had prepared long ago to the onlookers. Shopkeeper Pei took over a flyer, and his eyes lit up when he saw it. This Miss Fong Chao was simply inhuman. Shopkeeper Pei was now completely convinced. No wonder Miss Fong Chao said that this was a good way to make a lot of money. Every time, she would take out half of the total sales as a bonus. Therefore, the Moji grocery store was guaranteed to make a profit. Moreover, there were also people who did not come to redeem the prizes. That was all biased. After nearly an hour, Yun Chujio continued, "Everyone, I believe that you have all finished reading it. Some people will definitely say that this Moji grocery store is really smart. This way, every time the prizes are awarded, it is guaranteed to make a profit. That's right, I admit this. After all, we are merchants, so of course, we have to make a profit. However, don't forget that we also have a cost. The venue, the manpower, these are all predictable costs. There are also uncontrollable risks. For example, if someone tries to cause a ruckus, or if the spirit stones received are stolen, it is understandable that we have to work hard to earn some money. As for whether you are willing to buy it, that is up to you. The opportunity only favors those who are prepared. Otherwise, even if God wanted to give you 1,000,000, he wouldn't be able to give it to you. Cut the crap." An hour later, the first phase of the lucky 7-star card will be officially sold. The prize will be announced on time 3 days later. Those who don't come to receive the prize will be considered to have given up automatically. Once the prize expires, there will be no waiting. After Yun Chujio finished speaking, she jumped off the roof and began to arrange for people to set up the sales scene. The process was very simple. After the customer paid the money, they could receive a card with a stamp on it. The customer would choose 7 numbers from 1 to 32, and then the staff would fill in the 7 numbers that the customer had chosen. One lucky 7-star card would be considered complete. Many people did not quite accept this method and felt that it was a little unreliable. Previously, when buying groceries, even if they didn't win the lottery, they could at least get groceries. If they didn't win the lottery, wouldn't it be a waste? What can 10 spirit stones do? As long as we buy one, we might be able to earn 10 times, 100 times, or even 10,000 times. I think it's a good deal. That's right. The more people buy it, the more money we'll win. If I buy 100 spirit stones first, I might win a grand prize. That makes sense. It's actually better than the previous method. 1,000 spiritual stones can buy 100 cards. We'll win a few at least. As soon as someone took the lead, someone followed the trend and bought a few cards. However, the number of people who bought them was still very small. It was not even 1,000th of the original number. Yun Chujio knew that many people still held a wait-and-see attitude. If the number of people who bought the first batch was too small, the prize money would not be much. This lucky 7-star card would probably be aborted. It seemed that they still had to find a child. Third brother, what do you think? Mo Peng, who was standing behind the crowd, asked Mo Chang. Humph, let me say that this fragrant grass is purely idle. It would be great if they just restock honestly. They would definitely be able to earn a lot of money. If they were to create a lucky 7-star card now, the number of people who bought it would only be 1,000th of the original number. Moreover, after the prize was announced, the number of people who would buy it might be even less. After all, who would waste 10 spiritual stones for no reason? Mo Chang curled his lips and said. Mo Peng nodded in agreement. I have the same opinion as you. This so-called lucky 7-star card will only sell for 3 episodes at most before it has to be cancelled. It's really like throwing away a watermelon to pick up a sesame seed. Many people had the same thoughts as them. They all felt that Yun Chujio had really made a wrong calculation this time. She had wasted a good opportunity to make money. Unexpectedly, the next day, dozens of people came with large amounts of money. Each of them bought at least 10,000 spiritual stones worth of lucky 7-star cards, and the sales rose sharply. When the sales cut off on the 3rd day, a total of 100,000 lucky 7-star cards were sold, which meant that the prize money was actually as much as 500,000. On the day of the award ceremony, Mo's grocery store was completely surrounded. Even the roofs of some of the stores and some of the tree branches were filled with people. Everyone wanted to see if this so-called 7-star lucky card was reliable or not. Seeing that it was almost time, Yun Chujio made some noise. Then, she took out a box and said with a smile, "Everyone, now let's welcome the head of the Mo family, who is also my grandfather, to the award ceremony. Welcome, everyone." After speaking, Yun Chujio took the lead and started clapping. The crowd could only follow suit. Although Mo Xiaoting had seen a lot of big events, this was the first time he had been welcomed like this by the crowd. A sense of satisfaction and pride filled his heart, and his impression of Yun Chujio increased by another notch. Mo Xiaoting cupped his hands at the crowd and reached into the hole. He then began to take out a ball with a number written on it. Mo Xiaoting pulled out a ball. Shopkeeper Pei stood to the side and shouted out a number. As the 7 balls were pulled out, a fat woman cried out, "Oh my God! Oh my God! I've won all 7 numbers. I've won the special prize. Ha ha ha. I'm rich." One after another, people in the crowd cried out in surprise, "I've won the first prize. I've won the second prize. I've won 2. Ha ha ha, I'm actually a special prize as well." All of a sudden, the entire crowd was in an uproar. Those who didn't buy it, on one hand, were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. On the other hand, they still held a doubtful attitude. Would this Moji grocery store really cash in on the prize? Although the special prize was split equally among a few people, each person's prize money was in the tens of thousands. Would they really give it to them? Unexpectedly, as long as they won the grand prize, they would receive the money they deserved. The fat woman who won the grand prize was so happy that she almost went crazy. 10 spirit stones for 85,000 spirit stones. We really made a fortune. Everyone was both envious and regretful. If they had bought it, they might have won the prize. There was only one thought in everyone's mind, and that was to buy. 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 At this moment, Manager Zheng of Luo's grocery store said loudly, "Wait. I suspect that there's something wrong with that ball. Maybe they marked the ball and could secretly manipulate some numbers to win the lottery." Everyone immediately exploded. If that was the case, wouldn't they be fooling everyone? Yun Chujio curled her lips. It's true that the heart of a petty person measures the stomach of a gentleman. Our MOJIS way of doing things is above board, we wouldn't do such a sneaky thing. How about this, you guys recommend a few highly respected people to come up and take a look at these balls. Very soon, everyone recommended 3 old men. The 3 old men took out the balls and compared them with the balls in the box. They didn't find anything unusual, no matter if it was the size or the weight. These spheres are all exactly the same. They weren't tampered with. The 3 old men came to a conclusion. Yun Chujio thanked the three old men. With a cold smile, she said, "This person, you have to set your conscience straight. Don't think that others are black just because you are black." However, this also gave Mog a reminder. In the future, when the lottery draws again, we will randomly choose 7 people to come up and touch a sphere each. This way, you don't have to worry about the possibility of cheating. Everyone nodded their heads in agreement, feeling that this was a good idea. This lottery draw was a matter of luck to begin with. If there were any tricks, it would be too immoral. The crowd no longer had any worries as they began to purchase the lucky 7-star card in a frenzy. However, there was no need to rush to purchase it this time. After all, there was no limit to how much you could buy. As long as you had the money, everything was fine. Shopkeeper Pei finally understood why Yun Chujio had asked him to buy so many pieces of paper. At this rate, the amount of paper he had was simply not enough. Seeing that everything was going smoothly, Yun Chujio accompanied Mo shouting back to the Mo residence. After entering He Xian's office, Mo Fangqin asked curiously, "Big sis, you really didn't do anything to the ball? Then why were 2 of the 3 people who won the grand prize with us?" Yun Chujio curled her lips, "Of course we did. 70% of the lucky 7-star cards were bought from our own pockets. If the grand prize was won by someone else, wouldn't that be a huge loss? Then how did you do it? Why didn't the 3 old men find any flaws?" Mo Fangqin was still puzzled. "It's very simple. I put the 7 balls in after I heated them with fire in advance. Grandfather took out whichever one was hot. When the 3 old men came up to check, the balls were already cold." Yun Chujio said with a smile. Mo Fangqin's eyes twitched. This guy is really mean. He can think of such a method. "Sister, I have another question. The lucky 7-star card is very easy to make. What if there is a counterfeit winning card to receive the prize?" The country bumpkin definitely did not think of this question. "I actually thought of it in advance." Missouri Fangqin felt that she was awesome. "Third sister, of course I thought of this. First of all, the stamps on the lucky 7-star card are different every time. If someone wants to forge it, the time is limited, so it won't be so realistic. Second of all, even if he forged the stamps to be exactly the same, he wouldn't have thought that when the staff wrote the numbers, they would deliberately make some marks. Everyone's marks are different. Some people might write the strokes more straightforwardly, some people might have deliberately made the dots bigger. Finally, shopkeeper Pei would add a medicinal herb into the ink used by the staff. The color of the paper would change after it was dipped in water. Only one thought flashed through Mo Fangqin's mind. A country bumpkin was not a human. A human could not be so smart. She was not a human. "Oh right, third sister, there is actually the simplest way to distinguish. That is, we always award the cards on the spot. Therefore, the ink on the forged cards would not dry so quickly. It would be very easy to be discovered. What I did was just in case." Mo Fangqin felt that she should not think about anything unrealistic in the future. Even if she had 10 heads, she would not be able to play with this monster. At night, Yun Chujio lay on the bed, tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. She did not know what the gigolo was doing. What he did must be very dangerous. Would he be hurt? Yun Chujio took out the voice transmission talisman. After hesitating for a while, she put it back. It was not because he was embarrassed, but because he was afraid of distracting Di Biming's attention. Sigh. He's still too weak. Now, he can only play business and house battles. Unless he can hold the Mo family in his hands, there's no chance of a trial. Yun Chujio kept sighing. At this moment, the voice transmission talisman in her storage ring started to vibrate. Yun Chujio saw that it was Di Biming's voice transmission talisman and her heart started to race. Pretty boy. Why would he suddenly contact me? Could this be the legendary telepathic connection? Yun Chujio quickly sent her divine sense in, and Di Biming's stiff voice came from inside, "Don't be lazy, cultivate properly." Yun Chujius, originally full of small romantic feelings, instantly turned into anger and grievance. "Damn it, pretty boy, which I did you see me being lazy? I want to cultivate, do I have time? If I'm a little careless, these bastards from the Mo family will kill me." Other people's boyfriends were always asking about their well-being, but this pretty boy was good. He broke up easily and was so fierce that he didn't know how to care about others. He was so annoying. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. He simply put the voice transmission talisman back into his storage ring and ignored Di Biming. On the other side, Di Biming was nervously staring at the voice transmission talisman. His clothes were covered in blood, and there were both his own and others. Seeing that the voice transmission talisman did not respond, he was a little worried, so he took out the voice transmission talisman and sent a message to Enfong. "Is she okay? Your Excellency, Ninth Miss is very well. She recently held some lucky draw and earned a lot of money." The corner of Enfong's eyes twitched. How could Ninth Miss be okay? She was having a great time. Di Biming's face darkened, and his whole body emitted waves of cold air. Since the black thing was fine, then did she deliberately not return my voice transmission talisman? How dare it? Very good. This debt should be recorded first. After I settle this matter here, I will deal with her. Achoo. Achoo. Fuck. It must be the gigolo scolding me. Yun Chujio suddenly sat up, took out the voice transmission talisman and said fiercely, "Gigolo, can't you say something that you care about me?" Di Biming saw that the voice transmission talisman was trembling, and he could not help but smile. It seemed that the black thing did not deliberately not reply to his message. There might have been something just now. Di Biming sent his divine sense into it and heard Yun Chujio gnashing her teeth. He could not help but frown. Not concerned about her. What did he mean? I told her to cultivate properly because I was concerned about her. How else could I be concerned about her? He told her to cultivate properly so that she could become stronger quickly so that they could be together earlier. Wasn't he concerned about her? It had to be said that the Overlord's brain was not on the same frequency as Yun Chujius. After thinking for a while, he replied, "Eat well, wear warm clothes, go to bed early and wake up early." This should be considered caring, right? After Yun Chujio heard it, she felt extremely stifled. You said that the gigolo was not concerned about her, but he was still concerned about her. However, did you say that the gigolo would talk like that? He was so dry and didn't have any intention of sweet-talking her. It was really infuriating. This gigolo was like a maniac. When he was online, he knew how to flirt better than anyone else. When he was offline, he was like a block of wood. Yun Chujio pouted and decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. Eat well and drink well. Be careful. Although Di Biming felt that something was wrong when he received Yun Chujia's voice transmission talisman, he still could not understand Yun Chujia's painstaking effort. Coincidentally, there was an unusual sound outside the cave. Di Biming put away the voice transmission talisman and started another round of fighting. Yun Chujio waited for a while. When she saw that Di Biming did not reply, she scolded him a few hundred times before falling asleep in a daze. The next day, Yun Chujio spent a lot of effort to squeeze into Mo's grocery store. This was because the road leading to Mo's grocery store was packed to the brim. Many people came to line up before dawn just to buy a 7-star lucky card. Yun Chujio was also shocked when she saw the explosive situation. Although she expected that there would be a lot of people today, she didn't expect that there would be so many people. Seeing that the shop was extremely busy, Yun Chujio borrowed a few people from other shops to help. When the sales closed on the third day, shopkeeper Pei was so happy when he saw the statistics. Miss Fong Chow, we actually sold 10,000,007 star lucky cards. That means we will earn at least 50 million. Oh my god. 50 million in 3 days. Am I dreaming? When Mo Xiaoting heard the news, he was shocked speechless. How was this a business? This was simply stealing money. Most importantly, this business could continue for a long time. Based on the speed at which he was making money, he might be able to return to the eastern continent soon. Grandfather, of course, making money is a good thing. But, when there are too many people, it's easy for things to go wrong. From today onwards, you will give me at least 50 guards to guard the grocery store. Of course, I will arrange for someone. Mo Xiaoting nodded in agreement. Grandfather, although we are making a lot of money right now, it won't be long before we start following the trend. We can't control the rest of the eastern continent and it won't affect us much. But, if the Luo family successfully follows the trend, it will definitely distract us from our customers. You have a point. But, if the Luo family wants to follow the trend, we can't control them, Mo Xiaoting said helplessly. Grandfather, you are too kind. We can't control them openly, but we can stab them in the back. We are giving them a taste of their own medicine. Back then, the Luo family tricked my uncle and third uncle. Yun Chujia's Black Lotus skill came online again. Stab them in the back. What do you want to do? Yun Chujio gave him a cheeky kiss and Mo Xiaoting nodded, okay. I'll leave this matter to you. Fong Chao, grandfather didn't misjudge you. As long as you are loyal to the Mo family, grandfather will hand them over to you sooner or later. Yun Chujio tactfully expressed her loyalty, but in her heart, she sneered. What right did a heartless family member like her have to make her work hard without complaint? In the next few days, the Mo family's lucky 7-star card was as popular as ever. Many people were envious. Mo Pang and Mo Chang were both jealous and ashamed. They wished they could get a lucky card from the shop they were in charge of. But, they only thought about it. If they dared to poach someone from their own family, Mo Xiaoting would definitely kill them. Seeing the Mo family making so much money, the Luo family naturally did not want to be left out. So, they immediately arranged for people to start selling the 7 Treasures lucky card at Luo Jis grocery store. The Luo family had a plan in mind. After all, Luo Jis grocery store and Mo Jis grocery store were opposite each other. They could easily lure the Mo family's customers over. It was simply too easy. As expected, many people were excited to see the Luo family's promotional leaflet. After all, it was a lucky draw, so who wouldn't be the same? At this moment, someone in the crowd whispered, the Luo family's reputation is not good. Who knows what tricks they will play when the time comes? When the Mo family held the first round of the lottery, didn't manager Zheng of the Luo's grocery store suspect that there was something wrong with the ball? This meant that he had such a plan in mind. He would definitely tamper with the ball. Who knows, the people who won the lottery were all arranged by them. We are just being played like monkeys. That makes sense. Back then, they wanted to learn from MOG and do the lottery sales. Now, they want to learn from MOG and do the lucky card sales. How shameless. Besides, if the Mo family buys more people, the prize money will be higher. The last grand prize was 2 million. There weren't many people in the Luo family. Even if they won the grand prize, it would only be a few thousand spirit stones. What's the point? It's a waste of spirit stones and time. Word spread like wildfire. Soon, everyone came to a consensus that the Luo clan wasn't something to be trifled with. Their lucky draw wasn't reliable, and only fools would go. When shopkeeper Jing first saw that a guest had come to visit, he was extremely pleased. The 7 treasures lucky card of the Luo family would soon surpass the 7 stars lucky card of the Mo family. The Mo family was extremely busy. They were all making wedding clothes for the Luo family. Just as he was feeling pleased with himself, he discovered that other than the dozens of guests who had come in at the beginning, no one else had come in. Even the dozens of guests who had come in at the beginning were clamoring for a refund. What was going on? Shopkeeper Zheng sent his staff out to ask around. He was so angry that he was twitching. These rumors definitely had something to do with the Mo family. It was really too damaging. Shopkeeper Zheng came to the backyard. Luo Pingsheng was sipping tea. Luo Pingsheng's 2 sons had recently gone out on business, so he had no choice but to come personally to supervise the battle. However, he felt that shopkeeper Zheng alone could control the situation with the Mo family's ready-made customers, so he did not appear. Master, things are not looking good. The Mo family has spread a lot of rumors that are detrimental to the Luo family, so none of the customers are willing to buy our 7 treasures lottery card. Shopkeeper Zheng's forehead was covered in cold sweat. This was the idea that he had suggested to Luo Pingsheng. If all his efforts failed, he would be punished. Luo Pingsheng frowned. Ever since Mo Fengchao arrived in Fengli City, the Luo family had not been doing well. Was this the work of that bitch, or was it instigated by that old fogey Mo Xiaoting? Seeing that Luo Pingsheng was silent, Manager Zheng became even more frightened and asked tentatively, "Family head, what should we do next?" "Continue selling. Rumors stop at wise men. The influence of these rumors will slowly fade away. In the meantime, we might as well make a loss and think of a way to let a few customers win a big prize. When others see the benefits, they will naturally ignore the rumors," Luo Pingsheng said with a dark expression. "Family head is wise. I will make the arrangements right away. However, the Mo family framed us. Are we just going to let it go?" Shopkeeper Zheng saw that Luo Pingsheng did not intend to punish him, so he heaved a sigh of relief. "I have my own plans. You can leave now." Luo Pingsheng's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness. If the Mo family was not eliminated, the Luo family would never be able to make a name for themselves. For the next period of time, Yun Chujia's life was extremely comfortable. Even though Mo Peng and the others were unwilling, they had to admit that Yun Chujio was indeed a good money maker. Not to mention other things, just the 7 stars lucky card alone was enough to make as much money as the other shops in the Mo residence combined. After Mo Junchen's leg recovered, he ran to hear He Xian insult Yun Chujio. He was beaten half to death by Yun Chujio again. He ran to old Madame Lu and cried. He did not expect that old Madame Lu would scold him and ask him to avoid provoking Yun Chujio in the future. Mo Junchen was so angry that he insisted on going back to Jinchuan City. Yun Chujio was always in front of old Madame Lu. Therefore, when old Madame Lu saw that Mo Junchen was so disobedient, she simply sent someone to send Mo Junchen back to Jinchuan City. When Madame Luo saw that her son was beaten into a pig's head, she naturally hated Yun Chujio to death. However, Mo Cheng had left for more than 20 days and never returned, so she could only endure it for now. 10 days later, Mo Cheng finally returned to Jinchuan City. However, he did not return alone. He even brought back 2 extremely charming women. Madame Luo's heart instantly sank. She forced a smile and asked, "Husband, who are these 2 ladies?" "Xiao Yun, these are the 2 handmaidens my friend gave me. I saw that they were obedient, so I took them as my concubines. Hongxia, Hongyun, come and pay your respects to your mistress." Mo Cheng said with a smile. Madame Luo's head buzzed and her face instantly turned pale. "Husband, didn't you say that you would never take in concubines again?" Mo Cheng had yet to speak. Hongxia said in a delicate and weak voice, "Sister, what you said is wrong. Isn't it normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines?" Besides, we sisters heard that you were also a concubine back then. Why can't we serve you? Madame Luo looked viciously at Wuxia and said, "Slut, shut up. Io, Lang Jun, sister is so scary." "I nearly fainted from fright," said Wuxia coquettishly as she leaned into Mo Cheng's embrace. Mo Cheng saw Wuxia's charm and beauty, and when he looked at Luo Shi's hideous face, he immediately had a choice. With a cold expression, he said, "Xiao Yun, I'm the head of the family. The matter of concubinage has already been settled. All I did was inform you. Quickly get someone to arrange a place for Wuxia and Hong Yun. If you do not make the necessary arrangements, I will have the two of them stay in the study with me." After Mo Cheng said that, he entered the Mo residence with his arms around him. He did not even glance at Luo Shi. Luo Shi's face was pale. If not for Mo Fanghua's support, she would probably not have been able to stand properly. Mo Fanghua gritted her teeth in anger. "Mother, don't worry. I will find an opportunity to kill those two bitches." Luo Shi waved her hand. "Fanghua, don't do anything rash. Let me think about it carefully. They are just two bitches. All I need to do is use some means to chase them out." Luo Shi's plan was pretty good. She felt that by using some means, Mo Cheng would hate those two concubines. What she did not expect was that these two concubines were clearly well versed in the private matters of the inner residence. Not only did Luo Shi fail to get rid of the two of them, it made Mo Cheng even more displeased with her. He did not even come to the main courtyard. Luo Shi had also thought about killing the two of them, but she was worried that Mo Cheng would hate her, so she could not do anything about it. Luo Shi was busy cleaning up the two concubines, so she could not care less about Yun Chuzhou. She could not help but feel proud of herself. This tactic of encircling Wei to save Zhao was simply too effective. Now, Yun Chuzhou had become Mo Xiaoting and old Madame Liu's favorite. She ate and used the best food, but she still did not feel at ease. Back then, second elder Zhao had said some harsh words. He shouldn't have just been trying to scare Mo Xiaoting. Why hadn't he done anything? Also, it was obvious that the old man, Luo Pingsheng, was a vengeful person. Yet, he had not made a move. Something was definitely up. He must be plotting something. Yun Chuzhou shared her concerns with Mo Xiaoting. Mo Xiaoting did not seem to mind. "Fang Chao, although the Zhao family is stronger than us, we still have the Mo family and the Ben family from the East Continent. They don't dare to do anything to us. You don't have to worry too much. Grandfather, as the saying goes, water from afar cannot quench the thirst of the current. Plus, we haven't had any contact with the Ben family for many years. If anything happens, the Ben family may not be able to help. So, the Zhao family may not be afraid of us. We should be on guard. It would be best if we send someone to keep an eye on the Zhao and Luo families." Mo Xiaoting was about to speak when a guard rushed in to report, "Master, the second elder Zhao from last time is here again. Furthermore, he came directly with the betrothal gifts and the bridal sedan." Mo Xiaoting was stunned for a moment before he sneered, "Is he planning to force himself into a marriage? This is outrageous. Grandfather, don't be angry. Let's go and hear what he has to say," Yun Chuzhou said casually, but her heart tightened. The Zhao family had come with ill intentions, they must have made some preparations. Mo Xiaoting and Yun Chuzhou arrived at the living room. Not long after, second elder Zhao walked in with a young man. The young man's eyes were green. It was obvious that he was a lecher. As soon as he walked in, his gaze fell on Yun Chuzhou and he revealed a lustful look. "Master Mo, this is my nephew, Zhao Lizzie. He is here to marry Fang Chao back to the Zhao family. We have brought the betrothal gifts. Now, let Fang Chao follow us." Second elder Zhao said arrogantly, he did not even sit down. Mo Xiaoting sneered, "Second elder Zhao, aren't you talking to yourself? I already told you last time that we are unworthy of you. Feng Chao will not marry the Zhao family. Master Mo, I originally wanted to discuss this. But, since you've put it this way, I have no choice but to speak the truth. To tell you the truth, our Zhao family is definitely going to marry Mo Feng Chao. Married? On what basis? On what basis? Clan leader Mo, do you think that with that 7-star lucky card business, your Mo clan will not be restricted by our Zhao clan? HMPH, you're too naive. In the cultivation world, strength reigns supreme. As long as we destroy your Mo clan, the 7-star lucky card business will belong to our Zhao clan. Second Elder Zhao's eyes flashed with greed. He originally thought that the black fragrant grass only had one use, but it turned out to be a money tree. Since that was the case, he had no choice but to take it back. Destroy the Mo family? How arrogant! Aren't you afraid of revenge from the Mo family? Mo Shouting sneered. Mo Shouting, this tactic of yours is good for scaring people, but it's useless for scaring the Zhao family. To be honest, the Zhao family has a strong backer on the eastern continent. Besides, the Mo family has been in trouble recently. How can we care about your distant relatives? Second Elder Zhao noticed Mo Xiaoting's expression change. He continued proudly, so, don't even think about the Mo family. Besides, we have already made a deal with the Luo family. Our people and the Luo family will easily destroy the Mo family. Mo Shouting, I advise you to be sensible. As long as you hand over the Mo Feng Chao to us, the Mo family will not only be safe, but you will also have the support of the Zhao family. You can choose where you want to go. Mo Xiaoting's forehead began to sweat profusely. He was no longer confident. His trump card was the Mo family. If he couldn't count on the Mo family, then the Mo family's guards alone would not be able to compete with the Zhao family. Not to mention, the Luo family had also added insult to injury. Yun Chujia's eyes flashed. What she was afraid of came true. If she did not think of a way as soon as possible, the old fox would definitely abandon her. After all, nothing was more important than her life. Grandfather, since things have come to this, it seems that I have no choice but to marry. Second Elder Zhao, this marriage is after all a lifelong event. I can't just leave with you guys in such a hurry. You have to give me a few days to prepare the dowry, right? If this little request can't satisfy me, then there's no point for me to live, Yun Chujio said faintly. Second Elder Zhao rolled his eyes. Alright, then I'll give you 3 days to prepare. If you want to cause any trouble, HMPH, then let the entire Mo family be buried with you. Make up your mind, let's go. Zhao Lizzie smiled at Yun Chujio in a lewd manner. Young Lady Feng Chao, in 3 days, your husband will come to marry you. Be good and wait. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio said calmly, okay, see you in 3 days. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Zhao Lizzie was overjoyed. He had come to the right place this time. He had originally thought that he would be marrying an ugly woman, but who would have thought it would be such a beautiful woman? This was great. After Elder Zhao and Zhao Lizzie left, Mo Shouting slumped into his chair. A moment later, Mo Shouting let out a long sigh. Feng Chao, it's not that grandfather went back on his word, nor is it that grandfather doesn't love you. I really had no choice. Yun Chujio sneered in her heart. The position gained through benefits was indeed not stable. How could she be abandoned so easily? However, I, Yun Chujio, have never been manipulated by anyone. Do you want to marry me? I want the Zhao family to disappear completely. Grandfather, I understand everything you've said. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said what I just said. But, will the Mo family really stand by and do nothing? Why don't you try contacting them? Mo Shouting was shocked. Yes, this was just the Zhao family's side of the story. Perhaps, they were lying. Mo Shouting took out a voice transmission talisman and his hands trembled slightly. He had not used this talisman for many years because he knew that the Mo family did not look up to them, so, he knew not to disturb them. Uncle Wu, I am Xiao Ting from the Guanshuan branch of the Western continent. We are being threatened by the Zhao family. I wonder if we can lend a hand. Don't worry, after this is done, we will definitely repay you handsomely, Mo Shouting said humbly. In fact, he sounded like he was pleading. Mo Shouting thought it would take a while for the talisman to respond. But, to his surprise, it quickly began to tremble. Mo Shouting couldn't help but feel a sense of joy. It seemed that Second Elder Zhao was simply spouting nonsense. His family was definitely safe and sound. Mo Xiaoting's body trembled as he sent his spiritual sense into the sound-transmitting talisman. An old man's voice came from within. The old man's tone was impatient. If you don't have the ability, then don't provoke trouble. My family has a lot of things to deal with. I don't have the time to deal with your small matters. Resolve it on your own. At this moment, Mo Shouting felt a mixture of shock, disappointment, and anger. He had originally thought that the family would be his lifeline, but they were actually so cold-blooded. He never expected this. Although Yun Chujio did not know what was said in the voice transmission talisman, she could tell from Mo Xiaoting's expression that it wasn't good news. Mo Shouting took a deep breath and said dejectedly, Feng Chao, I can't count on my family anymore. You should just get married. Grandfather, as long as you say the word, I can get married without any complaints. But, are you willing to do this? Let's not talk about the Zhao family first, let's talk about the ambitious Luo family. Do you think the Luo family will stop from now on? They have obviously reached an agreement with the Zhao family. Without me as a bargaining chip, do you think the Zhao family will help the Mo family? Grandfather, it won't be long before the Luo family uses the Zhao family's influence to destroy the Mo family. So, the moment my father brought me back from the Tianyuan continent, it was destined to be a dead end. The Luo family is the mastermind behind this dead end, Yun Chujio said calmly. Mo Xiaoting's body was covered in cold sweat. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that Yun Chujio's words made sense. This was a dead end. By marrying Yun Chujio, they would only be able to stall for a little longer. In the end, the Mo family would definitely be swallowed by the Luo family. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio stood to the side and watched coldly without saying a word. She was betting on Mo Xiaoting's unwillingness and Mo Xiaoting's recognition of her abilities. She was also betting on everything she had done during this period of time. After a long while, Mo Shouting suddenly raised his head. Feng Chao, do you have a way to break this deadlock? Grandfather, if I say I have a 50% chance, do you dare to bet? Yun Chujio's lips curved upwards as she asked slowly. Mo Xiaoting's hands trembled slightly. It was obvious that he was conflicted. Should he bet or not? If he did, he might be able to resolve the crisis and expand the Mo family's influence. Of course, he could also speed up the destruction of the Mo family. But, if he didn't make a bet, he might be able to survive for a few more years, but in the end, he would not be able to escape the fate of having his entire family wiped out. Yun Chujio knew that Mo Shouting would definitely make a bet. He was ambitious, but he wasn't willing to give up. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wanted to return to the East Continent and become a wealthy man in peace. As expected, Mo Shouting gritted his teeth and said, "I'll make a bet. Feng Chao, I hope you won't disappoint grandfather this time." Grandfather, don't worry. Although it's only a 50% chance, your determination has turned it into 70%, Yun Chujio smiled and said in a relaxed tone. Feng Chao, what are you going to do? Mo Xiaoting was originally worried, but after hearing Yun Chujia's smile, he felt a little more relaxed. Grandfather, tell me more about the Zhao and Luo families. The more detailed the better. Okay. Mo Xiaoting immediately told Yun Chujio everything he knew. Yun Chujio blinked. Grandfather, the first thing you need to do is send someone to bring my father, second aunt and the others to Fengli City. Are you planning to send Luo Shi back to the Luo family to plead for mercy? Or are you planning to use Luo Shi as a hostage to threaten the Luo family? Mo Xiaoting asked in confusion. Grandfather, I'm getting married. Isn't it normal for father and second aunt to come over? Yun Chujio said with a faint smile. Mo Xiaoting glared at her, tell the truth. Grandfather, call them back. Firstly, it's to prevent the Zhao or Luo family from holding them hostage. Secondly, it's also a good opportunity for my father to see the true face of the Luo family. Hasn't he always thought that the Luo family is a good family? Yun Chujio sneered in her heart. If she didn't call them back, how could she let Luo Shi receive their retribution? Mo Xiaoting immediately sent someone to fetch Mo Cheng and his family back. Mo Cheng also brought over the 2 new concubines. Mo Xiaoting summoned his 3 sons to the study room and briefly told them about the Zhao family. Mo Cheng immediately said, Father, I told you at the beginning that you should marry this rebellious daughter. Now that the Zhao family has forced their way in, you should just marry this rebellious daughter. Although Mo Pang and Mo Chang did not show it on the surface, they were secretly happy inside. Once Mo Fengchao was married off, wouldn't the 7-colored lucky card be theirs? This was great. Do you think marrying Fengchao would be a good thing? To tell you the truth, the Mo family is facing a disaster. Mo Xiaoting was extremely disappointed. Each of his 3 sons was dumber than the last. They only saw the benefits in front of them and could not see the true nature of the situation. Dad, are you kidding me? Once we get married and the Zhao family sells the talisman to us at a low price, our Mo family's business will be booming. How could we possibly be wiped out? Mo Cheng said as he curled his lips. Mo Xiaoting was so angry that his head hurt. Good thing. The moment you were persuaded by Luo Shi to bring back the fragrant grass, our Mo family was in a dead end. And the one who wanted to destroy our Mo family was your good father-in-law. Mo Cheng twisted his neck and said unhappily, Father. What are you talking about? It's true that my father-in-law has stolen our business a few times, but he wouldn't go so far as to say that he wanted to destroy our Mo family. Could it be that the rebellious daughter said these words again? She is simply spouting nonsense. Mo Xiaoting wanted to strangle this idiot to death. No wonder Feng Chao said that she wanted him to see the Luo family's true colors with his own eyes. This idiot would only turn around if he saw it with his own eyes. He was simply too stupid. Mo Pang and Mo Chang's minds were a little more flexible. They felt the meaning behind Mo Xiaoting's words as cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. They knew that Mo Xiaoting wasn't trying to scare them. Even if the Luo family did not wipe out the entire Mo family, the Mo family's business would still be swallowed by the Luo family. At that time, the Mo family would be completely destroyed. Second brother. It's all your fault. You idiot. Second brother, it doesn't matter if you want to die. Don't bring us along. No matter what you do now, it's a dead end. Mo Pang and Mo Chang gritted their teeth. Their good days had been ruined by this idiot. If it wasn't for Mo Xiaoting, the 2 of them would have beaten Mo Cheng half to death. Mo Cheng was so angry that his face turned red. Have you all been brainwashed by that rebellious daughter? How could my father-in-law do something like that? He has to worry about Xiaoyun and the 2 children. Humph. When the time comes, second sister-in-law can bring the 2 children back to the Luo family. You can also help your good father-in-law. Second brother, did you plan all of this in advance? Mo Chang said mockingly. You're talking nonsense. I don't believe that the Luo family planned all this. I'm taking Xiaoyun to the Luo family right now to find out what's going on. Mo Cheng said as he prepared to leave. Mo Xiaoting slapped Mo Cheng across the face. You idiot. What are you going to ask? Are you going to ask Luo Pingsheng if he's going to destroy the Mo family? Which idiot do you think will tell the truth? Mo Cheng clutched his cheek and yelled, Dad. What right do you have to hit me? If you don't want me to ask, do you think you can tell the Luo family is trying to harm the Mo family with just your word? I don't believe it. Mo Xiaoting's head was buzzing with anger. Get out. Get out. Hearing Mo Xiaoting's words, Mo Cheng immediately stormed out of the room. Mo Xiaoting sat down on his chair dejectedly. He was so angry that he was gasping for air. It was obvious that he was angry. Mo Peng and Mo Chang looked at each other and Mo Peng said, Father, please calm down. Second brother will slowly figure it out. After a while, Mo Xiaoting finally said, Tell me, how should we break this deadlock? Father, why don't we marry the herb first? No matter what, it will buy us some time. After that, we can sell our shop and property and find a new place to stay. Mo Peng thought, after all, he had plenty of spirit stones in his hands. Even if he could no longer do business, it would still be enough for several generations to squander. Third brother, what do you think? Mo Xiaoting asked as he looked at Mo Chang. Father, I agree with big brother. We can't beat the Zhao and Luo families anyway, so why should we fight them head-on? If we stay alive, we might have a chance to make a comeback in the future. Mo Chang thought. It seemed that he had to think of a way to get more after returning home. Otherwise, it might not be possible. Mo Xiaoting was extremely disappointed. His 3 sons were all idiots with no ambition, and his grandchildren were all mediocre. Mo Fanghua was the only one with the best training potential, but unfortunately, it was still from Luo Shi. Fan Chao wasn't bad, but he was afraid that once the incident was revealed, it would be even more difficult to resolve. Mo Xiaoting instantly looked as if he had aged 10 years, he let out a long sigh. Take care of your family members. Don't go out unless there's something important. Also, do what you should do with your business. If I find out that you've done something, don't blame me for being merciless as your father. Mo Peng and Mo Chang saw Mo Xiaoting's cold expression and couldn't help but shiver. The little tricks in their hearts disappeared as they obediently agreed. On the other side, Mo Cheng covered his face as he angrily walked back. Although he still did not believe that the Luo family would harm the Mo family, he was still a little suspicious. So, he went straight to Luo Shi's house. Bitch! Tell me, do you think the Luo family has no good intentions to harm the Mo family? Mo Cheng looked at Luo Shi and immediately slapped her across the face. Luo Shi's face immediately swelled up as her mind went blank. Darling, you hit me? Humph. I hit you, you slut. If not for you urging me to bring that rebellious daughter back, how could there be so many terrible things happening? Now that the Zhao family has joined forces with your Luo family, our Mo family will be devoured by your Luo family sooner or later. You traitor slut. Mo Cheng had been displeased with Luo Shi for the past few days. Now, he had vented his anger from the beating on her. Luo Shi more or less knew of Luo Pingsheng's plans. Luo Pingsheng had also promised her that even if the Mo family was destroyed, he would give her and Mo Cheng a substantial portion of the family's assets. She was already unhappy with Mo Xiaoting and old Madame Lu, she couldn't wait for the Mo family to be destroyed. In the past, Luo Shi would have covered her tracks and coaxed Mo Cheng with good words. However, she had been extremely disappointed in Mo Cheng these past few days. Now that she had been slapped in the face, she couldn't hold back the jealousy in her heart. Mo Cheng, since you've put it this way, I'll tell you the truth. The Luo family is no longer the same as before. Sooner or later, the Mo family will fall. If you treat me well, we will still be a loving couple. Regardless of whether the Mo family is around or not, our days will not be bad. However, if you still dote on those two bitches, then we will part ways. Mo Cheng did not react for a long time. Although he was unhappy with Luo Shi taking care of the two concubines, he still believed in his heart that Luo Shi would not do anything to let him and the Mo family down. He never expected her to say such a thing. After saying that, Luo Shi also regretted it. However, it was naturally impossible to take back what she had said. Furthermore, she felt that the Luo family would destroy the Mo family sooner or later, so Mo Cheng did not dare to do anything to her. You slut! I'm going to kill you. Mo Cheng's eyes were bloodshot. He hated the ruthlessness of the Luo family, but he was also afraid of the impending annihilation of his family. Mo Cheng, if you dare to lay a finger on me again, don't even think about living. Luo Shi thought to herself that since they had already fallen out, there was no need to endure it. Mo Cheng's hand was still lowered. He was afraid of the Luo clan's revenge, and he was afraid of death. Without any hesitation, he made his choice. As long as he coaxed the Luo clan, he could still lead a carefree life. Furthermore, the Luo clan's influence would only grow. Perhaps, Mo Cheng, would be even more glorious than he was now. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Xiaoyun, you were right to scold me. I have been too muddle-headed these past few days. Hongxia and Hongyun, you can find someone to sell them. We can live a good life from now on. As Mo Cheng spoke, he took out an ointment that reduced the swelling and gently applied it on Luo Shi's face. Husband, what I said earlier was a little overboard. Don't take it to heart. Our child is already so old, so I will naturally be thinking of you wholeheartedly. Besides, our Luo family and the Mo family are in-laws. How could we really destroy the Mo family? Luo Shi felt pleased. Her father was right. Only when her family gained power would she be able to make decisions in other families. In the future, once the Mo family declined, he would not dare to act recklessly. After the two applied ointment on each other's swelling, Luo Shi probed, "Darling, what is father's plan? Will Feng Chao marry into the Zhao family or not?" Father did not say. However, she will most likely marry into the Zhao family. If I can't count on her, would she dare to go against the Zhao family? Although Mo Cheng was still unhappy with Luo Shi, he did not dare to express it. Luo Shi rolled her eyes and said, "Darling, once Feng Chao marries out, no one will be able to manage the 7-star lucky card business. Feng Chao belongs to our second branch, so it's only natural that you take over. Run to father's side more often. Don't let those two branches take away the fat meat." Xiaoyun, what you said makes sense. I will pay attention to it. From what I understand, the 7-star lucky card should belong to our second branch. Darling, for the 7-star lucky card, you can just go along with what father-in-law says from now on. I will pretend to be angry and go back to the Luo family. On one hand, I will make father-in-law feel more satisfied with you. On the other hand, I will also go back to the Luo family to investigate the situation. Mo Cheng naturally agreed without hesitation. As such, Luo Shi returned to the Luo family with a sorrowful expression. Hearing the conversation between Xiao He and Mo Cheng, Yun Chujiu could not help but sneer. Mo Cheng was indeed a soft-hearted person. How could he be intimidated by Luo Shi so easily? Second Elder Zhao and Zhao Lizzie were currently attending a banquet at the Luo family home. Luo Pingsheng and his two sons were treated to good food and drinks. Everyone was chatting and laughing merrily. Luo Pingsheng was extremely pleased with himself. He had planned this move for several years, and now he was finally going to achieve his wish. How satisfying. Mo Xiaoting, that old fogey, always had a high and mighty look on his face. He really wanted to see the way he would wag his tail and beg for mercy when he fell into the dust. Luo Yan was a woman's wife, so she naturally would not attend a banquet like this. She was currently chatting with Luo Shi. "Auntie, that Mo Fangchao is so lucky. That bitch has caused me so much suffering. I originally planned to find an opportunity to tie her up and sell her to the Cauldron Hall. Letting her marry into the Zhao family just like that is too good for her. Silly lass, do you think the Zhao family is a good place to go? Mo Fangchao will definitely suffer unspeakably in the days to come. To dare offend our Luo family's young lady is simply courting death. Auntie, although that's what you said, I'm still unwilling to see the tragic state of Mo Fangchao with my own eyes. Tell me, if the Zhao family finds out that Mo Fangchao isn't intact, will they torture her even more?" said Luo Yan viciously. Luo Shi was alarmed. "Yan quickly give up on this idea. The Zhao family isn't someone our Luo family can afford to offend." Luo Yan pouted her lips and said indignantly, "All right then. However, back then, Mo Fangqin also beat me up. In that case, I'll kidnap her and sell her to the Cauldron Hall. Don't tell me you can't bear to part with her. She's just a daughter-in-law. You can do whatever you want with her. I'll find an opportunity to help you get her out of the Mo residence. After that, you can do whatever you want with her." Since she had dealt with the daughter-in-law and fawned over the Luo family, why not? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. At this time, Yun Chujia's sinister laughter could be heard from inside Mo Xiaoting's study room. He Shi, who was in charge of keeping watch outside, was so frightened that he trembled. Although he had not been with Yun Chujio for too long, he knew that every time his little ancestor laughed like this, someone would be in deep trouble. Inside the room, Mo Xiaoting's expression froze. Could it be that Fang Chao was going crazy from the shock? Why was she giggling the moment she entered? "Fang Chao, are you all right?" "Grandfather, I'm fine. I've thought of a good idea." Yun Chujio smiled sinisterly as she activated her black lotus. "Good idea? What good idea?" Mo Xiaoting was depressed. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, he finally regained some of his energy. To sow discord between the Zhao and Luo families, Yun Chujio said slowly with a smile. Mo Xiaoting's eyes lit up and he sighed, "Fang Chao, this is a good idea, but the Zhao and Luo families are on good terms. How are we going to sow discord?" "Grandfather, if second elder Zhao is the only one here, it won't be easy to deal with him." However, Zhao Lizhi was a lecherous man. If he and Luo Yan were to get together, what would Luo Ping do? Would he let Luo Yan marry Zhao Lizhi or kill him? Great! Fang Chao, this is a great move. Mo Xiaoting's expression brightened. As long as this was done, the Zhao and Luo families would definitely have a grudge against each other. At that time, the Mo family would have a chance to take advantage of this. "Grandfather, this is only the first step of a series of schemes. The second step is even more crucial." "A series of schemes? What is the second step?" "Kill Zhao Lizhi and frame Luo Yan." Yun Chujia's face was full of smiles, but the words she said were filled with flashes of knives and swords. "What? Kill Zhao Lizhi?" Mo Xiaoting jumped to his feet in shock. "Grandfather, I know what you're worried about, but there's no turning back now. Either the Zhao and Luo families will be destroyed, or the Mo family will be destroyed. With Zhao Lizhi's death, second elder Zhao would definitely fly into a rage. He would either have a conflict with the Luo family or ask them to hand over Luo Yan. No matter what, with Zhao Lizhi's death, this marriage will be put on hold. This will give us some time to catch our breath and we can continue to plan our next move." Mo Shouting was stunned for a while. He was already shocked by Yun Chujia's meticulous thinking. With Zhao Lizi's death, this game of chess had turned into a chaotic battle. Winning in a chaotic battle was simply too exquisite. Grandfather, the key to this matter is that the method of framing must be exquisite and there mustn't be any big flaws. Time is of the essence. We have to make our move the night after tomorrow at the latest. Grandfather, now is the most urgent time. So, you shouldn't hide anything and reveal all your trump cards. Even if you have to pay a heavy price, you have to do it well. Otherwise, we will make things worse and the consequences will be unimaginable, Yun Chujio said with a serious expression. Mo Shouting was silent for a moment, then, he gritted his teeth, Feng Chao, I have a shadow escape talisman in my hand. This talisman was left behind by my ancestor and I have never been willing to use it. After the shadow escape talisman is activated, it has an invisibility effect. It lasts for 2 hours and even a cultivator of the 9th layer of the Ling Xian realm will not be able to discover it. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. This was a good item. It seemed to be an upgraded version of the concealment talisman. Feng Chao, who do you think is the best candidate? This candidate is extremely important. Because of the shadow escape talisman, the level of spiritual power is secondary. We need to be smart and quick-witted, Mo Shouting asked. Grandfather, why don't I go? But, I need you to get me a map of the Luo family. It would be best if you could give me a description of the Luo family. Yun Chujio thought to herself, don't you want me to go? He even beat around the bush and said that he was smart and clever. Who else could match these two adjectives? Mo Shouting nodded his head in satisfaction. He felt that apart from Yun Chujio, no one else was capable of handling this matter. The two foxes muttered to each other for a while before they finally came to a decision and began their respective actions. Over the next 2 days, the Zhao family settled down in the Luo residence while Luo Pingxing treated them to food and drinks. Master Luo, is there anything unusual with the Mo family? Second Elder Zhao asked arrogantly. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye on them. Mo Shouting was probably disheartened, but the Mo family did not do anything. Mo Fengchao has been shopping for expensive clothes and jewelry in the Mo family's shop for the past 2 days. He even bought a red wedding dress from the Luo family's shop, Luo Pingxing said respectfully. Humph. I don't think he would dare to do anything. Tomorrow morning, I will bring Lizzie to pick up that Mo Fengchao. This matter will be considered a success, Second Elder Zhao said with a smug look on his face. Last time, he had failed to complete this matter. He was really angry. Fortunately, he had succeeded this time. Zhao Lizzie sat at the side. When he thought of Yun Chujia's beauty, he could not help but feel excited. He wished that he could enter the bridal chamber immediately. That night, Luo Pingxing hosted another banquet to entertain the uncle and nephew of the Zhao family. After a few drinks and a few dishes, Zhao Lizzie got up and went outside to relieve himself. Zhao Lizzie walked to a remote place. Just as he was about to relieve himself, he felt a gust of wind behind him, so he hurriedly dodged it. Patter. A fragrance pouch fell to the ground. Zhao Lizzie was stunned. He picked up the fragrance pouch and looked at it carefully. He saw the word yen embroidered on it. Yen. Could it be that Luo Yen? Yesterday, Zhao Lizzie had seen Luo Yen greeting Luo Pingxing. At that time, he had felt that although the little lady was not as good-looking as the black fragrant grass, she was still quite pretty. When Zhao Lizzie smelled the fragrance of the sachet, his heart immediately began to race. Could it be that Luo Yen was interested in this young master? Just as Zhao Lizzie was thinking about it, he saw a figure flash in front of him. It seemed that there was also a woman's delicate laughter. He could not help but immediately chase after her. Although a few guards of the Luo residence saw Zhao Lizzie, they knew that he was an important guest. Naturally, They did not dare to stop him. They could not help but feel puzzled. This young Master Zhao seemed to be running in the direction of Miss Luo Yan's courtyard. What was he going to do there? Forget it. Even the head of the family could not afford to offend the Zhao family anyway. Why should they care about that? Thus, Zhao Lizzie smoothly arrived outside Luo Yan's courtyard. Although Zhao Lizzie didn't know that this was Luo Yan's courtyard, he knew that this was the courtyard that a woman lived in with just one look. His heart became even more restless. Taking advantage of the tipsy mood, he directly pushed open the courtyard door. Strangely, there were no maids to stop him. Zhao Lizzie directly entered the bedroom. In the bedroom, the bed hung low, and a woman's figure could be vaguely seen inside. Sister Yan, you lured me here, why are you still shy? Come out and talk to me. No one said anything inside. Zhao Lizzie simply lifted the curtain of the bed and saw Luo Yan lying there in her undergarments, revealing a large patch of snow-white skin. It was unknown whether she had fallen asleep or fainted. Zhao Lizzie was a pervert to begin with, so how could he care whether Luo Yan had fainted or fallen asleep? He immediately began to take off his clothes. When Zhao Lizzie took off half of his clothes, he felt a little dizzy. He shook his head. Damn it, drinking really messed things up. With a beauty in front of him, how could he be sleepy? Although Zhao Lizzie tried his best to stay awake, his head still became heavier and heavier. Finally, he fell on the bed with a plop. Yun Chujio revealed herself. She curled her lips and got Zhao Lizzie onto the bed. Yun Chujio took off the sword that was hanging by the bedside to ward off evil spirits and stuffed it into Luo Yan's hand. Then, she held Luo Yan's hand and stabbed the sword directly into Zhao Lizzie's chest. Yun Chujio looked at the crime scene that was created and felt that it was perfect. Although the Black Lotus skill was evil, it had to be said that using it to torture dregs was really sour and refreshing. This fellow opened the window and dissipated the remaining smell of the stun powder in the house. He took out the antidote and waved it in front of Luo Yan's nose. After removing the jade pendant from Zhao Lizzie's waist, he swaggered out of the bedroom. Yun Chujio threw Zhao Lizzie's jade pendant on the blue stone slab in the courtyard. Then, she went to the side room and gave the two maids a whiff of the antidote before concealing herself. The corners of this guy's mouth curled up. He went to the neighboring courtyard, lit a fire, and then left. This guy had already calculated that after the fire was ignited, everyone would definitely come to put out the fire. At this time, the medicinal properties of Luo Yan and the two maids had just passed. When the time came, they would definitely scream. The people who put out the fire thought that something had happened, so naturally, they would run over. Luo Yan had no time to hide the news of Zhao Lizzie's death. TSK, the scene would definitely be very exciting. It was a pity that the time limit of the Shadow Escape Talisman was limited, so they could not watch the live broadcast. Things were exactly as Yun Chujio had expected. After the fire started, Luo Pingsheng and Second Elder Zhao hurried over. Second Elder Zhao was still puzzled. Where did this kid, Lizzie, go? Why did he take so long to relieve himself? Could he have returned to the guest house when he was sleepy? While everyone was putting out the fire, they heard a few screams coming from the neighboring Luo Yan's courtyard. Luo Pingsheng was shocked. He wanted to enter the house to take a look, but after all, men and women were different. He could only ask from outside the house, Yen what happened? No, it's nothing, grandfather. I just had a nightmare. Luo Yan's trembling voice came from inside the house. Although Luo Pingsheng felt that something was amiss, he couldn't ask too much. Just as he was about to leave, Second Elder Zhao found the jade pendant on the ground. Isn't this the jade pendant of determination? Why is it here? Second Elder Zhao blurted out. Luo Pingsheng's head buzzed. Could it be that Yan and Zhao Lizzie were having an affair? How was this possible? They had only met once. Second Elder Zhao clearly shared the same thoughts as Luo Pingsheng. He could not help but blame his nephew. No matter how impatient he was, he should not have provoked the Luo family's young lady. How was this going to end? Luo Pingsheng took a deep breath and dismissed his subordinates. Only he and Second Elder Zhao were left. There are no outsiders now. Come out with young Master Lizzie. Luo Pingsheng secretly hated Luo Yan for being muddle-headed. That Zhao Lizzie was not a good person. How could he fall for her? After Luo Pingsheng finished speaking, there was no response from Luo Yan. He felt that something was not right. He gritted his teeth and pushed open the door. A strong smell of blood came from inside. 2 maids were kneeling on the ground, shivering. Luo Yan was wearing a tunic and sitting on the bed with a pale face. Beside her was a man with a shining sword stuck in his chest. Second Elder Zhao's heart tightened when he smelled the stench of blood. He could not care less about his manners and rushed into the room. When he saw the scene in front of him, he nearly fainted. Resolve! Resolve! Second Elder Zhao threw himself in front of the bed and called out repeatedly. He fed him pills and injected his spiritual energy. Unfortunately, Zhao Lizzie was already dead. No matter how much he tried, it would be in vain. Luo Pingsheng's head buzzed. How could this be? How could Zhao Lizzie be in Yan Er's room? Why did Yan Er want to kill him? Could it be that he wanted to molest Yan Er? Second Elder Zhao grabbed Luo Yan's neck. Bitch! Why did you kill Lizzie? Speak! Luo Pingsheng rushed forward. Second Elder Zhao, calm down. Calm down. Even if you want to kill Yan Er, you have to let her speak. Second Elder Zhao then let go of Luo Yan's neck and said viciously, Tell me, why did you kill Lizzie? Luo Yan coughed for a long time before she finally calmed down. She shouted hysterically, I didn't kill him, I didn't kill him. When I woke up, I found him dead here. Second Elder Zhao slapped Luo Yan hard, bullshit. He died on your bed. If you didn't kill him, who did? Lizzie must have taken a fancy to you. How dare you kill him, you bitch. Although Luo Pingsheng was unhappy, he was afraid of the Zhao family. He carefully said, Second Elder Zhao, I'm afraid there's something fishy about this. Let me ask in detail. If young Master Lizzie was really killed by Yan Er, I'll definitely kill her and give the Zhao family an explanation. Humph. Lizzie is my eldest brother's only son. Now that he's dead in your Luo family, this matter won't end. Second Elder Zhao's eyes were bloodshot as he said furiously. Luo Pingsheng wiped off the cold sweat on his head and began to ask Luo Yan and the 2 handmaidens about what had happened. He also interrogated the guards who had seen Zhao Lizzie. Everyone immediately pieced together the truth of the matter. After Zhao Lizzie was drunk, his lust flared up, so he ran over to force Luo Yan to commit adultery. In the end, he was killed by Luo Yan with the evil warding sword at the bedside. It was reasonable, regardless of whether it was the motive or the scene, it was completely consistent. Even Luo Yan herself felt that she might have really killed Zhao Lizzie in her days. It was just that she was too shocked, so she couldn't remember. Luo Pingsheng, now that the evidence is conclusive, what else do you have to say? Second Elder Zhao thought of the things that he would face when he returned, and his head was as heavy as a mountain. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have brought his nephew here. Second Elder Zhao, sigh. Since things have come to this, there's nothing more I can say. Yan Er will be handed over to the Zhao family to deal with. In addition, the Luo family is willing to compensate half of our assets to the Zhao family. We only hope that you can plead on our behalf in front of family head Zhao and let us off this time. Luo Pingsheng was clearly even more cold-blooded than Mo Shouting. Without any hesitation, he immediately abandoned Luo Yan. Luo Yan was already in shock, but upon hearing Luo Pingsheng's words, she immediately fainted. Second Elder Zhao took a deep breath. I can't make the decision on this matter. I need to go back and ask my big brother for instructions. I also need to bring back the body that I've made up my mind to. I will return to Jianfeng City immediately. If you let Luo Yan escape in the meantime, I will bury the entire Luo family with you. Don't worry, I will definitely send someone to look after her. After all, this was an accident. Please deal with her when you return, Luo Pingsheng said as he handed over 1 billion high-grade spirit stones to Second Elder Zhao. Second Elder Zhao saw so many spirit stones. His expression softened a little. Your Luo clan is considered lucky. My elder brother's concubine is about to give birth, so you should pray that she gives birth to a son. Otherwise, even if I speak up for you again, I'm afraid that my elder brother will destroy your Luo clan. Yes, yes. No matter what, thank you very much. Luo Pingsheng wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He knew that even though Second Elder Zhao said this, it was highly unlikely that he would really destroy the Luo family. He just had to give up his wealth. Second Elder Zhao left Fengli City overnight with Zhao Lizi's body. Luo Pingsheng ordered for Luo Yan to be locked up in the courtyard. No one was allowed to visit her. The next morning, Mo Xiaoting came to visit. Master Luo, I'm here to see Second Elder Zhao. Didn't you say that you were going to marry Feng Chao today? Our Mo residence has already made preparations. Why is there no sign of the Zhao family? Mo Xiaoting went straight to the point. Luo Pingsheng's expression was ugly. Second Elder Zhao has returned to Jianfeng City for an urgent matter. Just wait for his news. We still have some matters to attend to. Please do as you wish. Mo Xiaoting looked at Luo Pingsheng suspiciously. The Zhao family has left. What's going on? Luo Pingsheng was frustrated and did not have the mood to deal with Mo Xiaoting. If you want to ask, go ask the Zhao family. Send them off. Mo Xiaoting scoffed. Luo Pingsheng, good, good. You've really turned hostile. After speaking, Mo Xiaoting stormed off angrily. It had to be said that Mo Xiaoting's acting was quite good. Luo Pingsheng did not suspect that the Mo family had anything to do with this. After returning to the Mo family home, Mo Xiaoting laughed for a full 15 minutes in the study room. Wonderful. 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 Feng Chao, well done. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. Grandfather, don't be too happy yet. Although things are progressing smoothly, the crisis hasn't been resolved yet. Although Zhao Lizi was dead, the Zhao family still had other males. After Zhao Lizi's mourning period was over, the Zhao family would definitely come knocking on their door and ask for his hand in marriage. Moreover, since the Zhao family didn't fall out with the Luo family yesterday, it's likely that the Zhao family won't do anything to the Luo family. At most, they will just compensate us. Mo Xiaoting nodded. You have a point. What should we do next? The Luo family must be facing internal and external problems. They are in chaos. Immediately, spend a large sum of money to recruit guards and eliminate the Luo family. After annexing the Luo family, even if the Zhao family wants to seek revenge, we still have the power to fight them. Not to mention, we have the geographical advantage. Yun Chujia's eyes darkened. It was finally time to close the net. Luo Shi, you caused me to be separated from my family and friends. I will let your family die with you. Mo Xiaoting was silent for a moment before he gritted his teeth and said, fine. We will do as you say. What else do we need to prepare? When the time comes, the Zhao family will most likely use the talisman supply to threaten other families and get them to help us. So, we need to secretly recruit talisman masters. If we can't do it, we will have to pay a high price. As long as the money is in place, we will definitely be able to recruit them. Lastly, we must not let my uncle and the others know about what we are doing, especially not my father. Otherwise, it will be easy for all our efforts to go down the drain. Mo Xiaoting's face was burning with anger. He raised both his hands and feet in agreement with Yun Chujia's words. The three idiots weren't good enough to do anything, they were more than good enough to ruin everything. If they knew about this, they would only ruin everything. After Yun Chujio and Mo Xiaoting finished their discussion, they hopped back to Tingyi Xian. As soon as they entered the house, they saw Di Baiming staring at her coldly with his dead fish eyes. Di Baiming received the news from Anfeng that Yun Chujio had actually agreed to the Zhao family's marriage and even wantonly bought wedding clothes. He was so angry that he could not find his bearings. Although Yun Chujio had previously told him that even if there was a marriage contract, it would be fake and she would resolve it, he still rushed over day and night. If he wanted to snatch his wife, he was simply courting death. Of course, what he did not know was that his little Black Lotus wife had destroyed that so-called fiancé within minutes. When Yun Chujio saw Di Baiming, her heart was filled with joy. However, when she thought of the voice transmission talisman from the last time and saw Di Baiming staring at her dead fish eyes, her little face sank. Oh my, isn't this someone who abandoned me? Which demonic wind blew you here? Yun Chujio crossed her arms and leaned against the door, pouting as she said. Di Baiming had already thought it through. The black thing was forced. If she explained properly, he would not bother with her. Who would have thought that Yun Chujio's mouth would be filled with guns and sticks? His expression became even darker. I abandoned you. Didn't you already agree to someone else's marriage? I heard that you even bought wedding clothes. Are you complaining that I came at a bad time? Nonsense. Who did you hear it from? Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. How did the gigolo know about my matters? Could it be that he had arranged a secret guard by my side? Humph. I naturally have a way to know what I want to know. Stop changing the topic. Shouldn't you explain it to me? Explain your head. You only know how to be jealous all the time. I was forced to do that, okay? Do you think I want to be related to a bastard? You still have the nerve to question me. Who came here in the middle of the night to break up? Who was the one who was like a wooden stake all the time? Who was the one who threw his face at me all the time? Pretty boy, ask yourself, what right do you have to question me? Yun Chujio's eyes turned red as she spoke. Although she was independent and strong-willed, she still felt weak and wronged in front of the people closest to her. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio was about to cry and immediately became numb. He threw all his anger and face to the back of his mind. He jumped in front of Yun Chujio and hugged her in his arms. He said clumsily, I didn't say anything. Why are you crying? Yun Chujio cried out, what else do you want to say? You don't trust me, you bastard. You only know how to be jealous all the time. It's not that I don't trust you, I'm just angry. I'm angry at myself. If I'm strong enough, I can protect you. We won't have to suffer separation. It's all my fault that I'm too weak. Di Baiming's eyes were filled with heartache and guilt. If he was strong enough, why would little Jiao need to plan step by step? It was all because he was too weak. Yun Chujio was definitely a snob. When she saw Di Baiming's heartache, she immediately pinched and hammered him, you gigolo, you say it well, but every time you stare at me with dead fish eyes to scare me. Before Yun Chujio could finish her words, she heard Di Baiming grunt. Then, fresh blood oozed out from his chest. Are you injured? Yun Chujio was shocked and quickly took off Di Baiming's shirt. There was a gaping wound on Di Baiming's chest and he was bleeding profusely. Not only that, his body was full of wounds, some were deep and some were shallow. It was obvious that he was injured profusely. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.